Greetings, everyone, from the beautiful island of Ithaki here in Greece. Just a little announcement, update, and some reflections regarding our pilgrimage to Nepal and India this October. Obviously, as many of you may have anticipated, we have to postpone our trip due to the COVID pandemic enduring in that region. Usually I like to wait till the last minute, but my partner Helen at Sacred Earth Journeys and I have decided to postpone until next year, October. And that prompted a few reflections and obviously a new update that I want to entice you with. First and foremost, obviously it may be a little bit of a disappointment. We had a great turnout, many of you really keen after the lockdown to make a move on pilgrimage and experience the power places of Kathmandu Valley and of course the great holy sites of the Buddha in our epic odyssey to the diamond throne under the Bodhi tree. And of course we were going to be co-led by Geshe Tenzin Zopa. All of this was tremendously exciting and I think a opportunity for rebirth amidst the pandemic. And so I just want to acknowledge that may be disappointing for some of you, and of course that's perfectly fine. And I just want to also acknowledge that the world is changing so dramatically, and you know, all of us are experiencing loss and transformation at the very same time. And it got me thinking about a couple of points regarding pilgrimage. First and foremost, that pilgrimage is never easy. Whether you embark or not, just setting the intention to go on pilgrimage means that you're already involved in pilgrimage, whether you actually make it to the destination or not. And so everything that's happening right now versus vis-a-vis, frustrations, disappointments, waiting, being in transit, being on hold, this is part of the ride. And so I think we should look back into history since the inception of going on pilgrimage in a Buddhist tradition, that it was never an easy thing, that it is always marked by a process of purification. It is a test of rites of passage and a trial. And so all of our collective energies may feel blocked. The challenge is a chance to really purify some of the upsetting feelings that may be coming up. And really, we should join together and collect as much merit as we can. So if you signed up, there was a great turnout, a great group of people, as there always is. The people are, half, if not a little more, of the entire trip is really made or comprised of the group dynamic. We should collectively set our sights and intentions on collecting much more merit, keep our prayers strong, keep our vision strong, keep our virtues strong. And together we will one day, very soon, set sail, if you will, for another trip to India and Nepal. I think also it's also an important time to think of others. And most of us that were on the trip come from countries that are much more open. Our friends and colleagues in Nepal and India are now enduring a much more difficult time. And so whatever feelings we may have pale in comparison to what's happening on the ground for our friends, the nunnery in Kathmandu, Kopan, the Root Institute in India, all our staff and friends and brothers and sisters in India and Nepal having much more difficult times. So now is the time to just quickly feel whatever feelings we may be feeling, but then turn our attention towards others and recognize for most of these people, this is their entire livelihoods. I remember last year when we had to cancel our trip to Ladakh. I was so pleased and impressed with the students who did register. It was a really touching moment when I sent them that final cancellation email. Most, if not all, generously donated their deposit so that we could offer some donation to to the ground staff and the monks and nuns on our trip, whom we were so hopeful to connect with and were not able to. So I thought that was truly inspiring, and I think an indication of what we can do again is just keep our thoughts and prayers with the people who really need it, the people who we were hoping to support and really appreciate and value on the ground in Nepal and India. Now, some good news has come out of the turn of events in the postponement of our trip. I'd like to just share that with you. In my talks with Geshe Tenzin Zopa in the lead up to the postponement, we actually about a month ago decided for sure we needed to cancel the India portion. But then I was speaking with Geshe Tenzin Zopa about the possibility of maintaining the Kathmandu side of things in the hopes that that may have a little bit of a different outcome. And, several months ago, I did have a dream, beautiful dream, with Geshe Tenzin Zopa and I both flying in the sky, not in an airplane. I was following him, and he was leading me to Lama Konchog's hermitage in the high Himalayas. Lama Konchog, obviously, Geshe Tenzin Zopa's teacher and the sort of lineage guru of our tribe. And I remember we were both flying very playfully in the sky, and we were both wearing white, a very auspicious, sort of what we wear when we take refuge. And we landed at his hermitage, and there Geshe Tenzin Zopa, under the beautiful cloudless blue sky, taught me the Mahamudra, the great seal, the highest teachings of Buddhism. And it got me thinking that one day I very much wanted to go to Lama Konchog's hermitage, where he spent over 20 years in solitary retreat, and also where Geshe Tenzin Zopa did a very high tantric retreat under the guidance of his master. So I asked Geshe Tenzin Zopa about this, and we hatched or conceived or planted a karmic seed that one day we would go to the Tsum Valley. Now, the Tsum Valley is some 3-4 days walk from Kathmandu. It's very remote, very inaccessible, and it's a village where Geshe Tenzin Zopa was born and raised. It is where he met his master at 6 or 7 years old. Geshe Lama Konchog, his master, was at one time the abbot. After his long solitary retreat, became the abbot of a nunnery there called Rachen Nunnery. And after Geshe Lama Konchog passed away, Geshe Zopa, Tenzin Zopa, became the sort of guardian of the nunnery. And so he said, let's very much go to the Tsum as a pilgrimage. We would be received there as honored guests. And I thought, wow, this is a wonderful, wonderful inroad and novel opportunity, extremely unique. No one hardly goes to these areas. They're so remote. In fact, you have to really get there by helicopter, about a 45-minute helicopter. And so I'm very excited to say that we will definitely run the Nepal-India trip, Finding Buddha. But we will add a pre-trip extension to the Tsum Valley, which is considered a beyul, a hidden valley where Padmasambhava and his heirs hid sacred Dharma treasures in the landscape. It's very beautiful, mountainous, raw, natural, untouched villages. The nunnery there has about 100 nuns. It is the home of Geshe Tenzin Zopa. We will be welcomed there as honored guests, and we will make a special trip to the Milarepa cave and the hermitage, mountain hermitage of Geshe Lama Konchog, all with Geshe Tenzin Zopa next year. So something very much to look forward to. And one other little insight and innovation here to consider is that we always like to do a service project in the contemplative studies program, and we try to relate it with our pilgrimage effort. And so I'm very happy to say that Geshe Tenzin Zopa had a vision also to plant 500 fruit trees around Rachen Nunnery so that it would beautify the area, but also provide the nuns with sort of a sustainable organic option to support themselves. And I thought this is a very wonderful opportunity for us to merge our interest in ecology and Dharma service into a collective effort to raise funds for this vision, to actualize and manifest this vision of Geshe Tenzin Zopa's to plant 500 fruit trees. And by the time we set sail next year for this pilgrimage, maybe we will have raised enough money and a small group of us can go up to Rachen Nunnery with Geshe Tenzin Zopa and start, or at least oversee, some of the planting. Very symbolic trees are, very symbolic that the main karmic imagery is seed and fruit. And here we have an opportunity to start now, on the heels of a postponement in COVID, to think of others, to join in the karmic merit and karmic making opportunity with our teacher, Geshe Tenzin Zopa, to start raising funds and awareness for the Rachen Nunnery in very remote Tsum Valley. Start thinking about how we can raise some funds to buy and purchase the trees so that we can fulfill the unbelievable vision of Geshe Tenzin Zopa for 500 trees to create self-sustaining support for the nuns there. I think it's a very beautiful image and symbol and inspiration that I wanted to share with you. And so I'm going to leave you with that. Those that are in the Contemplative Studies program undergoing the Lam Rim meditation series, let's get our heads together thinking about how we can go about generating funds and awareness for this. And those that are not yet in the Lam Rim meditation series, just want to plug that we start soon again, resume with Course 2, second week of September. And so please jump in with us. We'll be raising funds now for the Rachen Nunnery and this beautiful symbol of reciprocity with the nuns with the 500 fruit trees. And hopefully those of you that have committed to going stay the course and join us next year. And those that were sort of lingering on the sidelines to see what happens, you were right to do so, and hopefully you'll stay near enough within arm's reach so that you'll jump in for next pilgrimage. And those that are new friends coming in, I like to run a pilgrimage every year. It's part of my Dharma inspiration and vision to make sure that we get on the road together and heal together and create service and karma together and visit the holy sites. It's probably the most wonderful thing that I can do and offer. So if this is intriguing, you can always visit the website of our partner, Sacred Earth Journeys. My partner Helen, we've put a lot of work into really creating one of the most magnificent, epic journeys you'll ever take. And you know, the way that things are going in COVID, next October can't come soon enough to get on the road. So those are my thoughts and reflections regarding pilgrimage, and I hope to see you very, very soon, whether we're embarking or not, or just in a holding pattern. There's still so much that we can be doing. So here from the island of Itaki in Greece, I wish you all best wishes and look forward to connecting with you very soon.